afternoon. I'm Barbara Cahoon. I'm Deputy Director of Government Relations for the National Military Family Association. Congressman Jones, Congressman Pascrell, and distinguished guests, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and speak today. The National Military Family Association has been advocating for the improvement of quality of life for military families for a long time. On behalf of our association and those families that we serve, we want to thank you for this wonderful piece of legislation. Post-traumatic stress disorder, guarantee review for our HEROES Act. It's going to be a wonderful piece. I really appreciate that. There's two provisions that are very important in this bill as far as to address some of the gaps that we've been seeing as far as with our service members and our veterans. The first one has to do with the referral process. As our service members come back from theater, a lot of times they don't recognize it in themselves that they maybe have or are experiencing post-traumatic stress, or maybe it's evolved actually now into a disorder, or they have traumatic brain injuries. We hope that our families are picking up on this too, but sometimes they miss it too. Even though they know that something's not quite right, they might not necessarily know that that's exactly what the issue is. During the discharge process, they actually now have to go through a physical examination. And it may be there at that particular point that the provider actually picks up or detects that maybe something's just not quite right. That maybe they have post-traumatic stress disorder, or maybe they have traumatic brain injury. And this particular provision now allows the physician, gives them the power to actually refer them now to a physical evaluation board, which is huge, because now we can actually maybe take a look further and determine if they actually do have that. So what this provision actually will do will ensure that service members and families really are treated fairly during the discharge process. The second provision, which is also very important, has to do with the establishment of the review board. And basically what that does, as we have been hearing from families, when they do actually get discharged from the military following a misconduct event or dismissed, that they have never ever been either evaluated for, diagnosed, or treated for post-traumatic stress disorder, or TBI. And as you know, when they leave the military and they're not medically discharged, our families leave, they really have nothing. So again, this provision, this bill, then allows basically the former service member or another individual as far as to go back and say, we want a special review to be done to determine basically maybe if that's what caused the misconduct event. Similar to the gentleman that you were talking about. I mean, there are too many to count that are probably sitting in jails, or our police are interfacing on a regular basis, or as Secretary Shinseki said, are now homeless because of this particular condition. So again, this provision as far as the review board will go a long way in ensuring that our service members, our veterans and families are actually being treated fairly. So I want to thank you both for supporting our service members, our veterans and our families in this wonderful piece of legislation. So thank you very much.
Barbara, thank you for being here.